Well, hello everybody. Today I'll be doing my 2026 March Madness bracket. God, it's kind of crazy. It's already that time of the year, but let's get into it. First off, we're going to start with the 1 versus 16 on the East. We got Duke versus Siena. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Duke, red hot. And it's Duke. And, this one's going to be, I think, annihilation. We got Duke winning this one. Ohio State versus TCU. Heard good things about both these teams. I actually haven't been watching basketball too much this year, but I did watch a TCU game not too long ago, and they played very well. I think it was against Kansas, although they did lose. And then we got Ohio State. Ohio State, they're a firepower on the offensive side. I don't know exactly which way I'm going to go with this. I think I'm going to go with TCU here. Not 8 versus 9. Statistically, the 9 has actually done better than the 8. So we're going to go with TCU there. St. John's versus UNI. UNI is back in it for the first time in years. As much as I think, or as much as I want, I remember UNI, they went on a kind of a Cinderella story a while back, and unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen again. Give me St. John's. Okay, we got Kansas versus California Baptist. You do not want to count out these teams that are, not as known, but I'm going to this. Kansas is going to annihilate them. I just don't see any chance of them winning that game. And then we're going to Louisville versus USF. I believe USF was the first seed or second seed in their conference, and I really liked the way they play. Louisville, they're a good team. Louisville is a good team, but it is March, and upsets do happen, and I think that this could be the first upset. I'm going to go with USF here. Michigan State versus North Dakota State. North Dakota State, to be honest with you, I don't know much about them. I'm going to be totally honest with you. They did beat Drake, which is a good pickup, but I just don't really see them being out Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. So I'm going to go with Michigan State here. And then we're going to go UCLA versus UCF here. UCLA is a team that is always there and always has a chance to go deep in the in March Madness. They do have sometimes those Cinderella stories, even though theirs isn't as crazy as some others, but they're still a good team. If you look at them versus UCF, I think they match up pretty well with UCF. And I think that UCLA, the first round, I think I'm going to pick them. And then at UConn versus Furman, I'm going to go with UConn. Although Furman, they always do have shooters. They do have shooters. But I just don't think there's any way they're going to beat UConn. So we're going to go with that. And then we're going to go to the west side. We got Arizona versus Long Island. I really think this is a horrible, 1 through 16 seeds are always horrible matchups, but I'm going to go with Arizona here. We're going to go Villanova, Utah State. I might have a little biasness here, but I grew up a Villanova fan. Even though people were thinking, oh, Utah State's going to win this, Utah State's going to win that. Give me Villanova, baby. Come on. Wisconsin versus High Point. High Point. I picked them last year for an upset. You know what they gave me? They gave me nothing good. They got destroyed. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin here. And then we got Arkansas versus Hawaii. this isn't really a great matchup for Hawaii, even though they did win the Big West Conference title. I just don't know if this is the best spot for them. Going against a team like Arkansas with their such firepower. But it is March. Will I be crazy? No, we're going to go with Arkansas here. With Arkansas. BYU versus Texas or NCSU. Probably Texas. We'll go with BYU here. And then we'll go Gonzaga versus Kennesaw. We'll go Gonzaga. Missouri versus Miami. People are thinking Miami's going to win this game. I think not. I'm going to go with Missouri here to win this one. And then Purdue versus Queens. If any team as number 2 seed is going to lose, I think it's going to be Purdue. But I don't think they'll actually lose. So we're going to go with that. Let's go over to the south side here. We got Florida versus, I'm hoping Lehigh. I think that'd be kind of a cool, story. But I'm going to give it to Florida here. Iowa versus Clemson. Iowa, they do have some firepower. But I think that Clemson's going to take this one. And then Vanderbilt versus McNeese. If McNeese got a better matchup here, I think I could see them winning. Say if they were going against like a North Carolina or maybe like a St. Mary or something like that, maybe just a little ranked higher, I think they could do very well. But I think Vanderbilt's just a really bad matchup for them. I really like Vanderbilt's team, and I don't really see them losing there. You never know. You never know. It is March. Nebraska versus Troy. Every time I think Troy can make an upset, never been proven that. So we're going with Nebraska there, and then VCU versus North Carolina. Now VCU could be a team. I'm just saying, could be a team that does it. But I also don't think this is the greatest match for them. We go with UNC. UPenn. What are we thinking here? We're thinking they're going to lose. Alrighty. We're going to take Houston versus University of Idaho. There's no way. Sorry, Vandals. Also in a Boise State shirt, so I can't pick them. And then St. Mary's versus Texas A&M. Oh, my God. This is a rough one. St. Mary's, they usually either are out in the first round or out in the second round. Usually like a 6 seed, so there's 7 this time. Actually, no, I think 7's about right. They're usually always around here. Give me Texas A&M. Give me Texas A&M, SEC school. I like them. And then we'll go Michigan here. Oh my God, Georgia versus 9 seed St. Louis. Well. What are we thinking here? What are we thinking? Well, we're going to go Georgia. We're going to Georgia here. Akron versus Texas Tech. Man, do I want to pick Akron in this. They just won. Oh my God. What division are they in? It's killing me that I don't know which division they're in. But they just won their division. But Texas Tech has JT Toppin, future first round pick, and that team's great. They're always great. So we're gonna go with them. Alabama versus Hofstra. Give me Alabama here. Alabama's just always had a crazy offense, and I think they'll do it there. Tennessee versus Miami, Ohio, or SMU. Give me Miami, Ohio, or SMU. I just don't see it with Tennessee. I don't trust Tennessee. I won't trust Tennessee in Fact is, I'm just going to go against them. So we're going to go with whoever wins this game. And then Virginia versus Wright State. Let's go with Virginia. Let's go with Virginia. Always a solid team, and I think they can play very well. And then we got University of Kentucky versus Santa Clara University. Now they did beat St. Mary's. Look at that. St. Mary's is out. They did pick McNeese. Look at that. They're also out. We'll go with Kentucky. We'll go with Kentucky and Iowa State. And that'll finish it out. And then we'll go up to back to the east side here. We got Duke versus TCU. Man, Duke, dude. Duke. It's all Duke around here, and you know, even though I do like TCU, I don't think I can see them beating Duke. So we're gonna go with Duke there. St. John's versus Kansas here. God, great teams. Both high-powered. I really think this is going to come down to their God. I really, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with St. John's. I think it's gonna come down to coaching, and Rick Pitino is a great coach, and I think that he can take them to that next step. So we're gonna go with them against Duke, and then UCF versus Michigan State. Tom Izzo. Yeah. We're going to go with Michigan State there. UCLA versus UConn. You know, UConn, team's been solid. The team's always going to be really good. The coaching staff's really good. And I think they face off really good against UCLA. So we're going to go with that there. And then we're going to go Arizona versus Villanova. You know, this is a game I really could see Villanova winning. Even though, like I said, I'm a little biased, but I'm not that biased. And I think that Arizona will win that game. Wisconsin versus Arkansas. We're going to go with Arkansas here. And then we'll go down to BYU Gonzaga. Who do we think is going to... I don't know. I just don't know. BYU's always had really good scoring offenses. Gonzaga always played really good ball. And we're going to go with the Bulldogs here. Purdue versus Missouri. This is where I kind of draw it. I really just don't like Purdue. I don't trust Purdue, especially in March Madness. So we're going to go with Missouri here. We're going to go with Missouri. And then we're going to go down to the south side. And we're going to look at Florida versus Clemson. You know, Florida, a solid team. Do I think that they're going to win? Probably. So we're going to go with Florida there. And then Vanderbilt versus Nebraska. I really like Vanderbilt's team. I'm going to go with Vandy here. Oh, Illinois versus North Carolina. This matchup, you know, I really do like this matchup. Illinois is always in here. North Carolina is always in here. You know, it's just kind of the battle of the big two teams here. But I think that Illinois can pull it off here. And then Texas A&M versus Houston. Houston, man. Houston. What do I think about Houston? Do I like Houston? No. Give me Texas A&M. Give me Texas A&M. There's got to be some upsets, and I think Texas A&M could be one of those. So let's go with Texas A&M there. Never mind. I changed my mind. We're going Houston. That's how easy it is to change your mind in these things. Michigan versus Georgia. Give me Michigan. Texas Tech versus Alabama. Give me Texas Tech, man. Texas Tech. They're just a really solid team all around. Virginia versus SMU. What do we think? We're going to Virginia, and we're going to go Kentucky. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
All right, so we got Sweet 16, Duke St. John's. Give me Duke. Like I said, I really like Duke. Their team is just really solid. I think that they can pitch past St. John's. And then Michigan State versus UConn. God, it's Tom Izzo's year. It is Tom Izzo's year. He knocks off UConn and brings them to the Elite Eight. Arizona versus Arkansas.
This is going to be a solid matchup. Like you said, Arkansas's got a lot of firepower. I think they really could take this one. I just don't know about their defense, though. I just don't know about their defense. Their offense is really good. One seeds can't stay in that long. Let's give me Arkansas there. And then we're going to go with Gonzaga. Gonzaga there. I think that could be a great matchup for Arkansas and Gonzaga in Elite Eight. I think that could be a really solid matchup there. So we're going to go with that. And then we got we got Florida versus Vanderbilt. Like I said, I'm really liking Vanderbilt's team, and I'm going to stay liking it. We're going to go with Vanderbilt there. And we're going to go with Houston versus Illinois. Man. Houston, I really don't know if I should pick them over Texas A&M, but we're going to go with that, and we're going to go with Illinois. We're going to stick with that. Michigan versus Texas Tech. We go with we'll go with Michigan there. I've just had a really solid year this year, and I really like Michigan's. And then Virginia versus Kentucky. Man. What are we thinking? Give me Kentucky in this. Give me Kentucky in that. No, give me Virginia. Give me Virginia. We're going to go Virginia there. Actually, I changed my mind. We're sticking with Kentucky. I picked it first. We're sticking with them. Duke versus Michigan State. Tom Izzo. Is it his year? Is it his year to make it all the way? I think not. Give me Duke here. Gonzaga versus Arkansas. Battle of the Beasts. Like I said, I think it's just going to come down to defense, and I think that Gonzaga's defense can play better ball. So we're going to go with Gonzaga there. And then Vanderbilt versus Illinois. Illinois, very high-powered. So is Vanderbilt. I think that, like I said, I've been really liking Vanderbilt's team. I'm going to stay like Vanderbilt's team. We're going to go Vanderbilt there. And then Michigan versus Kentucky, I think, is where kind of the storybook ending ends there for Kentucky. I'm going to go with Michigan there. All right, we got Duke, Vandy, Gonzaga, Michigan, Final Four. Man, let me tell you. We're going to go with Duke. I think Duke's their team is just amazing, and I think that I think they can run the table with this. And then Gonzaga versus Michigan. Man. We're going Gonzaga. And then we got Duke Gonzaga in the final. At the national level. Who do I think will take it all? National championship in Indianapolis. Who do I think deserves it? Who do I think's going to win it? I think if I had to put my money on one team and one team to win it, I'm going with Duke.
We're going with Duke. And I think that, God, this is going to be a great game, Duke versus Gonzaga. I know this will be the game because I'm going to get all my picks right, of course. But, yeah, no, I think Duke Gonzaga, I think that's a great matchup. I think that Duke will pull it out. I think it'll be a pretty close game, go down the wire, but I think Duke will reign victorious. So these are my picks. Go through here. Might have to make some more upsets in the next one. But, if you guys disagree with anything or agree with my picks, just let me know down in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys all have a great day. All right, thank you. Bye.